Real Deal Entrepreneurship, where I give the real deal on what it's like to be an entrepreneur. In our last video, we spent some time talking about teams, knowing when to build a team in your entrepreneurship journey. Today, I want to talk about knowing how to and if you should scale your business. If you run a business and you're lucky enough to have customers that want your product, you're going to inevitably face a crossroads where you're going to have to either scale your business to meet the customer demand, or you're going to have to adjust your product so that it reduces the demand. There are probably other strategies somewhere in the middle, but these two are probably the most common that you'll see. And adjusting your product to reduce demand could mean that you maybe limit your hours. I see this all the time in like bike shops, and they're only open a couple days a week, and they'll have a really long line on those couple days. That's one way to control your demand. And another way that people do it is by raising your price. You can raise your price, and that'll also reduce the demand for your product, just because fewer people can afford it. Those are two strategies. In my opinion, those are short-term strategies. If you do decide you want to grow your business in order to meet the current demand, that's called scaling. And there are some things that you should probably think about to determine whether or not scaling is for you, because scaling definitely is not for everyone. We run a high volume staging company at Parker Staging, which is one of my businesses. We stage up to 500 houses last year. We churn a lot. That model is not for everyone. It works for us because we are able to serve a lot of customers. We have systems in place that allow us to take repeatable action with some level of consistency, but you should just be prepared if you want to go into this arena that scaling is something that you should probably study before you do it. You should probably take some time to think about what scaling looks like. But fundamentally, as you go down this journey, are you a person that enjoys managing people? So there's a huge difference between running a business with you and an assistant and a business where there are 15, 20 different employees or contractors, and you also have administrative management teams that you have to deal with on a daily basis, even if you're not dealing with your employees who are on the front lines. So either way, you have to be really comfortable with managing people. And I know that's not something that a lot of people enjoy, but in order to scale your operations, that's really fundamental. I would say second, you have to be able to manage the expanding costs, because as you scale, you're going to spend more money. In our business, our staging business, it costs a lot of money to do the number of houses that we do. We have a large warehouse space. I'm always having to get extra storage space. I have trucks. All these things go along with the decision to scale. So all of your costs increase. And the third point I would make in order to determine whether you should scale your business or not goes right along with point number 2. And you have to be prepared, at least in the short run, to have some losses. It's not very profitable in the short run to scale. And in the short run, there's going to be a lot of cost. And you have to be prepared to not see, you're going to flow a lot of cash because of the number of jobs or number of customers that you may have, but you'll probably spend a little bit more than that for your startup costs and your onboarding of teams, etc. early on. But if you're a long-term thinker, down the road, there's no limit if you set up the proper scaling systems. There's a book called Scale Up. I can't remember who the author is right now, but that's a fabulous book for anybody who's interested in scaling their business. And the fourth thing I would say, if you're thinking of scaling your business and you're wanting to grow to meet your customer demand, is to prepare to learn quickly from your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes along the way, and be prepared to pivot. The one superpower you're going to have as a business that's deciding to scale is that you're going to be able to adjust to market dynamics a lot faster than a small business, because you'll have extra people, you would already have systems in place, you will already have protocols, you'll have more energy behind it. There are more people to distribute the work. So pivoting, believe it or not, is actually a little bit easier when you have a large business, as long as you're prepared to manage people as you go through that pivot. So those are my 4 points that you should think about as you decide whether you will scale your business to meet customer demand, or whether you should keep your business small or medium and adjust either the product or the service in order to reduce the demand. Number one, you have to enjoy managing people. If you're planning to scale, you've got to enjoy managing people, because the people are the scaling. Number two, you've got to be able to manage expanding costs, expanding risks, expanding everything. Number three, you've got to be prepared that in the short run, you may experience some financial losses, but in the long run, it's going to be more profitable if things play out as they typically do. And four, you've got to expect to learn quickly and pivot quickly. I hope these tips were helpful for you today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.